What's up, guys? So even though Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness technically was supposed to come out last year, like all movies, right? But delays, Rona, all that good stuff, I'm still hyped as hell. It'll be about 6 years since we got our original Doctor Strange film back in 2016, and we will finally be getting our sequel this May. Of course it's May, more pain. But the point is, the wait is over. We got the Multiverse of Madness teaser for the post-credit scene of No Way Home, and it was great, okay? Sam Raimi, the GOAT, will be directing, and that couldn't be any more perfect, with him being a master of horror, having an affinity for the character of Doctor Strange, if you guys remember that line from Spider-Man 2. But on top of all of that, the thing that truly makes him the one man for the job is the era in which he contributed to the superhero medium. Some would call it the boom of the comic book movie genre. The early 2000s were a host to many different big screen live action adaptations of Marvel heroes, and I am once again here to tell y'all with 100% uncertainty that they will be coming back in this film. At least some of them, okay? So before you throw me into the polar bear pit or into oncoming traffic, hear me out. We're gonna talk about some of the stuff going on in the teaser, of course. I'll explain the whole Shumagorath situation, why he's being called Gargantos right now, which, by the way, is pure cancer. I'll let you guys know who exactly America Chavez is and how she fits into all of this, and maybe some recommended reading, how most of our childhoods will, or potentially will, be revived, supposedly. I gotta throw a huge grain of Morton salt on that line right there, and how I think Doctor Strange fits into the thick of it all, the villains, everything. And I just want to talk about some of my thoughts and my predictions for the movie. But before we do all that, make sure to support your boy by hitting that sub button, turning on your notifications, leave a thumbs up, follow my social medias. Again, guys, thank you so much for 1K subscribers and beyond, basically. And now, having hit that, the new goal for 2022 will be revealed in the summer. Okay, guys, we've done way better than I ever could have expected, I ever could have fathomed, especially in the time that we did it. So I want to sit in this accomplishment, guys. I feel like it would be kind of weird if I just set a new goal automatically just because we beat the goal, and I just want to appreciate it for the time being. So no new goal until birthday season, players. We will get to that, but I just want to say again, guys, I appreciate you so much. Also, guys, did I mention that Elizabeth Olsen is in this movie? That's a guaranteed day one. We're about to see Bay again. So let's get into this. So the things that stick out from the teaser that I find curious is first the dialogue, which is from No Way Home. So I'm curious what kind of recollection, if any, Strange will have of those events. Maybe that's a potential plot hole, but does he just blank out, or does he remember all of his encounters with Peter, but Peter was in full Spider-Man suit from his perspective? No idea, but I'd be very interested to see them address that perspective, because they left it very ambiguous at the end of No Way Home. The decay of those buildings is the same from the decay in episode 4 of What If, and we find out as the finale of the trailer comes that Strange Supreme will be making his live action debut, and more than likely this has something to do with him. So just like in that episode, how Doctor Strange was split in two by the Ancient One, and that created two separate timelines within the one universe. Hopefully this doesn't get too confusing for you guys or me, but I'm thinking that might be the same case, okay? Christine Palmer is still alive in the MCU, so we'll see what exactly plays out. That won't be like the actual motivation for Strange to do what he did in that episode, which, thank God, baddie Rachel McAdams is back. I can't wait to see her. This movie is just filled with baddies. Also, we can hear Baron Mordo saying that the biggest threat to the multiverse is you, and he was referring to Doctor Strange. Now, whether that be Strange Supreme or Defender Strange, which I don't think it's going to be Defender Strange. Also, look at Defender Strange. Okay, that is awesome. He's probably the variant that we've gotten the best look at other than Strange Supreme, and that's just awesome, not only because there's going to be multiple versions of one character, but also we get different looks. We got that Defenders look from the Matt Fraction run in 2011, and also we just gotta take another second to appreciate dreaded Baron Mordo, okay? That glow up is immaculate, okay? Mr. Ejiofor, you're killing it, my G. And it seems whatever cloud type thing that's enveloping the world, no, it's not Galactus, guys. Honestly, I have no idea what this thing could be, if it is a thing or if it's just, you know, a portal. I have no idea, but it seems to be eating up everything, eating up matter, so I don't know what it could be, if it's a result of the Shumagorath, or I'm sorry, Gargantos, which is just such bullshit, guys. This is 100% Shumi, but unfortunately, the whole situation behind that is that Marvel doesn't have the live action rights to Shumagorath, so they can't call him that in the movies, only in the comics, so they had to pull this Z-lister Gargantos' name out of their ass, and I think that character only had like 3 appearances, and it was a bunch of bullshit. Like, it's not a very notable character, that's all I'm saying, and Shumagorath is just such a better and more badass name, in my opinion. Shumagorath is basically basically, for those that don't know, an old primordial god whose main purpose seems to be traveling between dimensions, feasting on people and conquering them. We can see Strange fighting him in the trailer, protecting Xochitl Gomez's America Chavez from him. Now, for those of you who don't know or aren't familiar with America Chavez, she debuted in the comics in 2011 in a short series called Vengeance, and she's been associated with many different teams in the comics: the Young Avengers, the West Coast Avengers, the Ultimates. She has an insane power set. She's basically like a superwoman type character, super strong, super durable, can fly near speed of light. Like, she's incredibly strong, but the thing that really puts her over the edge is her like level of energy projection, and she can create star-shaped portals to cross dimensions. So she'll be very valuable in a fight against the big bad one-eyed mofo who can do that himself. In the comics, she was very hit or miss for me personally, so I haven't been the biggest fan of this character, but like most everything, if she's good in the movie, I will love it, and I'm wishing Xochitl Gomez the best of luck with this character. I hope she thrives. But other than Shuma Gorath being the villain, I'm almost certain Wanda will end up being the main villain herself. If that hasn't already been confirmed, I am not sure. When she's in the full Scarlet Witch suit, she's in a place that looks very similar to episode 4 of What If, when Strange Supreme was summoning those powerful demonic beings to take their power. Wanda has all the power she could ever need, and with Marvel seemingly not wanting to give us demonic characters, and I say that just because Doctor Strange 1 seemed much more mystical than supernatural, and I believe their biggest market is China, and they don't like demonic figures over there. I don't know if anybody's in China right now. Let me know if that's the case or the full story on that. But with this movie, with Doctor Strange 2, the master of horror is behind this movie, and seemingly there is an intention to lean into the horror genre with this MCU entry. So that whole thing could change, and what that means is Mephisto is confirmed, basically. Just kidding, again, no polar bear pit for me on that one, guys. Just a WandaVision joke. But instead, maybe Shuma Gorath is tempting Wanda to break the multiverse in exchange for her children to be back, because that will 100% be Wanda's motivation, and through getting her children back, she will probably be responsible for breaking the multiverse essentially and having it descend into madness. And so moving on to when we'll actually see the alternate versions of the characters, obviously later on in the movie, but they will more than likely be some of the heroes I'm speaking for all my 90s kids specifically here, grew up with, okay? There have been an overwhelming amount of rumors that characters like Professor X, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Ghost Rider, Eric Bana's Hulk, Wesley Snipes, Blade, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, the original Fantastic Four, an Iron Man variant played by Tom Cruise, who was almost cast as the character back in 2008, with also John Krasinski supposedly being a variant of Reed Richards as well. And that's been a very strong rumor. So not only the 2004 Reed, but this incredibly popular fan cast. I honestly don't know how I feel about it, since it feels like it could very well just be fan service in there as a nod to that very popular cast, and it could end up being disappointing if he doesn't end up being the MCU's Reed Richards. And if he doesn't, that's gonna take a lot of like the impact from when Reed Richards actually sets foot in a MCU frame. But who knows, maybe they're going for a Council of Reeds type thing here, which could be cool to set up. I'll have to wait and see. Also, Tom Cruise could potentially be used to give us the Endo Sim armor or the black and gold armor, or who knows, maybe they'll use a lot of these legacy characters to just give us the classic looks, like the more silly kind of goofy looks, not too goofy to where they look ridiculous, giving us a different look that otherwise we'd never get to see in live action, especially with those characters that we grew up with. And most importantly, through my childhood ears, Tobey Maguire, in an interview he did recently with his fellow Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire is learning very quickly about being careful about what and how he says things, said, and I quote, "I don't want to say close the chapter, but revisit and have certain revolutions." And he said that in reference to the character that he was, revisiting, which is Spider-Man, his version. Now, that coupled with Sam Raimi, it's a multiverse movie, and that said multiverse during the events of this film will be composed mainly of madness. You'd be a fool to not believe just a little bit that Tobey was coming back, okay? Those days of taking your Tobey Maguire Spider-Man toy, your black leather X-Men toys, and your Eric Bana Hulk toy, and putting them all together and wishing you could see them in a movie by some stroke of luck that they'd actually all eventually meet. And guys, I'm confident that that time has come, that we will get that wish. Now, the reason I'm confident, and not 100% if I'm wrong, I go to hell confident, but pretty damn confident, is because I was actually watching Chris Parker the other day, and he was talking about a Doctor Strange 2 shirt that that was listed, and it had a big Avengers symbol on it. And if you didn't actually click on it, you could have just thought it was an Age of Ultron shirt, but in the description it read, "Experience Doctor Strange in a whole new mind-bending adventure with Marvel Studios' Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. This Avengers t-shirt showcases the Avengers logo for Earth's mightiest heroes that might just be from a whole new multiverse." Now, this video of Chris's was posted on the 20th, and I went on the 28th on Amazon and checked for myself, and it was no longer marked as a Doctor Strange official merch shirt, and I couldn't find that same description. So maybe it was all bullshit, or maybe Marvel scrubbed it after Chris brought more light to it. I have no idea, but that seems like an amazing way to fulfill all the wishes for the heroes of that era who were limited because of the times. Giving them the chance to play in a way bigger sandbox would just melt my heart. Okay, seeing Toby and Hugh Jackman Wolverine meet. I know Logan was a closing of the chapter for Hugh, but for something of this magnitude and a chance to don the iconic suit in either yellow and tan or yellow and blue, I'm hoping they go with the original classic whisker suit, if I'm being honest. Also, with No Way Home, maybe that would incentivize Hugh Jackman to come back at least this one last time. Now, I've also heard a lot of people who are concerned that the movie would be way too overstuffed and would detract from Stephen Strange as the title character's story, which I can completely understand those concerns. The whole nature of the multiverse is a huge concept, and with that many characters, the movie might potentially suffer from juggling way too much and might not succeed in giving us a compelling reason for them all to be there, and might actually be a detriment to the legacy of those characters from our childhood that we care so much about. If it'll be the last time we see these versions of these beloved characters, then they need to be done a service, and the task at hand would seem insurmountable, right? Well, for any normal director and movie studio, I might just agree with you guys, but we're talking about Kevin Feige, the GOAT of GOATs of producers, who kind of oversaw that legendary era, and Sam Raimi, who could be considered the man responsible for the comic book genre boom. Blade and X-Men definitely played their parts, but Spider-Man took things to another level with the colors, the campiness, and the emotion those movies would invoke in not only fans of Spider-Man, but the general audiences. I think Sam Raimi wouldn't sign up for a project he couldn't handle, and certainly not one he wasn't interested in. So I truly believe whether or not we get a multiversal Avengers team made up of all of our childhood heroes taking on the Scarlet Witch and Shumagorath, or we get a small group of certain variants fighting alongside Strange, I think these characters are safe in the hands of the GOAT, the true beast that is Sam Raimi. And much like in Endgame or No Way Home, if things go off with characters from the past, it seems as if the characters have been previously established, the sheer number of them is inconsequential and won't affect the story as a whole. I'm thinking that they are going to be introduced through the nexus of all realities. Now, Marvel has been talking about they're finally going to be able to use a character they've been wanting to use for a very long time, and that could be a plethora of characters, right? But what I'm thinking is that this weird, awesome, beautiful place in the trailer is actually the nexus of all realities, and basically what that is, guys, is, well, exactly what it sounds like. It's where all the realities in the multiverse actually intersect. It's one point, and in the comics, the guardian of that place, the guy who looks after it, is Man-Thing. That's who the protector of this place is in the comics, and that's what I believe this place is in the movie right here. And I think that's where all these different variants and these different characters are going to come from. That's actually where we first saw Defender Strange in the trailer. So that's my little prediction for the movie. But what do you guys think? Are you digging Shumi's new name? Are you excited to see America Chavez in live action? Do you think we're going to get a multiversal Avengers movie and a compelling Doctor Strange focused story just like No Way Home? Or do you think it's gonna fall flat on its face no matter what, and Sam Raimi isn't going to be enough to save it? I want all of your ideas, all your theories. That's pretty much it, guys. If you like the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I'll see you in the next one.